Guys, good Thursday afternoon. I'm Jerry Miller. Welcome to the I Love CVille Show. Thank you kindly for joining us. We are live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. It's good to be with you on a glorious Thursday to be above the mud. A lot we're going to cover on today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, GDP in this country has fallen or fell a whopping 1.4% in Q1 2022. That's a steep decline. We'll characterize how steep the decline is and what we do moving forward and how Americans are responding. As of now, markets are green after major sell-offs throughout this week and frankly, April. Frankly, 2022 in general. City Council, get this, imagine this, is now positively thinking about a designated outdoor refreshment area, a DORA, a beer garden on the downtown mall. Who would have thunk? Who would have figured? Who would have considered that as an option? We'll tell you what City Council is thinking. Mayor Lloyd Snook and Juan Diego Wade will be on this network tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. for Real Talk. Myself and Keith Smith will ask the mayor and the vice mayor about the designated outdoor refreshment area and its possibility. Also on today's show, soccer moms, soccer dads, soccer players, and soccer coaches across Central Virginia woke up this morning bitter, upset, frustrated, and saddened. We'll let you know why. We'll give you a hint. It has to do with Darden Towe Park and a 3-3 vote, a 3-3 log jam. That means no turf fields and no lights at one of the most used parks in Albemarle County. That topic on today's edition of the show. The Juice Laundry is closing one of its locations. This saddened Judah and I. Judah Wickhauer is our director. We'll highlight the closing of the Juice Laundry on the UVA corner. And we will also ask this question. Is the local business, the mom and pop business, now able to run or survive on the UVA corner? That topic today on the program. We'll highlight the Rivanna River Festival that's coming up. And we will talk a business opportunity, Package Depot, that's currently on the market for $65,000 and why we see tremendous potential for buying this institution, this staple on Ivy Road in the Ivy Square Shopping Center, and how we see a future business owner able to take it to a next level of growth trajectory. Give the show a like and a share. Join us in conversation and in spirit. Offer your thoughts and perspective on the program, and I will relay them live on air. Judah, do you have that 2-shot set up for me? Yeah. Hogs and Kisses Farm Sanctuary. We love the Juice Laundry as well. Kevin Higgins and Scott Aaronworth, we'll get to those comments in a matter of moments. Let's go to the 2-shot first, Judah. First, good afternoon, my friend. It's good to see you. Today, Manana this morning was fantastic, I thought. You did a good job of conducting and orchestrating that fantastic program. I want to talk U.S. GDP falling at a 1.4% pace to start the year as pandemic recovery takes a hit. Gross domestic product in the United States of America declined at a 1.4 pace in Q1. Declines in fixed investment, defense spending, and the record trade imbalance weighed on the growth. Consumer expenditures rose 2.7%, but that came amid a 7.8% increase in prices. So let's just cut to the chase and put this in very simple terms on a 2-shot as you and I talk. First 90 days of 2022, not good for the markets. Markets are down, all the indices. Not good for the consumer. Inflation is out of control. Gasoline is out of control. Grocery prices are out of control. Cost of goods are out of control. We still haven't figured out this supply chain issue. We still haven't figured out this labor shortage issue. We got a significant war going on in the eastern hemisphere, stratosphere, eastern area of this world with Russia and Ukraine. Russia's now talking about needing to head into other countries adjacent to Ukraine.
Oh, man.
It's getting to be a pretty nasty situation across the board with these KPIs. I'm not surprised that GDP fell 1.4% in Q1. You're a rational and reasonable man. Your thoughts on this decline in gross domestic product?
I'm not very knowledgeable on GDP, but yeah, I'm not really surprised either. I mean, with everything that we've been doing from, a financial standpoint, JPOW, just setting the money printer loose. I think we're going to see more of that across the board.
Interestingly, today markets are green, and maybe it's a hope that investors, institutional and retail, say, "Hey, here's an indication: GDP down 1.4% in the first quarter. Maybe Jay Powell and the Fed won't be as aggressive on these rate increases if they start seeing all these important data points." Like a 1.4% decline in GDP, like inflation.
That might be the case, but I think that's, it's, how do I put it? I think there's still a storm coming, and so unbattening your hatches because stocks went up a little bit, I think is a little premature.
Do you expect an even more retraction in the economy? I mean, you and I are fortunate to live in this area we call Charlottesville. This past weekend, Tom Festival, I saw the downtown mall as vibrant and as populated with customers and locals as I've ever seen it. Now, Paul Beyer and Tom, perhaps an anomaly for traffic on the mall. It's a festival, right? It's a destination type of situation because there's a festival going on.
Yeah.
Still, the weather was great. People were out and about. This will be a perfect segue into the DORA. We have Lloyd Snook and Juan Diego Wade on the show tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. Do you think these closings, we're about to talk about the Juice Laundry closing the UVA Corner location. We're in the business brokerage business. We see Iron Poffles listed for sale, Package Depot listed for sale. We see, Himalayan Fusion, Sweet Frogs. We see Kilwins. We see Morsel Compass. I mean, is this all coincidence, or are these all associated with what could be tough sledding down the road, in your opinion?
I think it's indicative of a lot of what's going on. I think there's, our country is still in trouble. And just because people come out for something like TomTom doesn't mean that's still not the case. Not everybody is broke. Not everybody is like really seeing the effects of what's going on. And that's not to say that they won't, and it's not to say that they necessarily will. Some people are just better shielded from the vicissitudes of, what's going on in our country, and I think that we'll continue seeing people go out and spend money. We'll continue seeing people going out to eat and going out to we've got a great chance to support the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank with the 231 Fest. People will go out and they'll spend money and have a good time there. It doesn't mean that everything is rosy, though.
The 231 Fest, guys, May 15th, Sunday, May 15th at Castle Hill Cider. The 231 Fest is a benefit for the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. Castle Hill Cider, the ringleader. Get a taste of Virginia's premier craft beverage scene in the Southwest Mountains. Spend a day on the stunning grounds of Castle Hill Cider enjoying wine, beer, cider tastings, along with delicious food trucks, live music all day, local artisans, and activities for kids. You'll have Castle Hill there, Mary Mill Farm and Vineyard, Patch Brewing Company, Keswick Vineyards, Champion Brewing Company, Chestnut Oak Vineyard, all there. Get tickets at castlehillcider.com/231. I believe Judah's drinking some Castle Hill cider literally as we speak.
I am.
Is that what's in that cup, sir?
That is some Castle Hill cider. It's good stuff.
The most interesting man in the world, Judah Wickower. Scott Aaronworth's watching in Virginia Beach. He has this comment, and we might as well get to it. The Juice Laundry is closing. He asked, where is the Juice Laundry on the UVA corner? I believe you have a screenshot. You can put on screen for the King of Virginia Beach.
I don't know if that answers his question as to where it is on the corner, but
it's on the corner.
There is the picture.
It's on the screen. Everybody look at the screen. So here's their post from social media. It has been a most wonderful 5 years in our bright, sun-filled space on the UVA corner. We have truly enjoyed being able to serve both the hospital and the student populations, but after much consideration, we made the decision to close the UVA corner location, so that we can spend more time growing our other 3 locations, improving the business as a whole, and catching up on some much needed family time. While we are sad to be saying goodbye to the corner, we are looking forward to the possibilities that this new change will bring, and we look forward to continuing to serve the community at our Preston location, our Aquatics and Fitness Center location, and at our Newcomb location. We hope that you all will join us in wishing this store a fond farewell. Our final day is tomorrow, Friday. So the Juice Laundry closing on the UVA corner. Kevin Higgins, King of Greenwood. Scott Aaronworth, King of Virginia Beach. Carol Thorpe, Queen of Jack Jewett. Vanessa Parkhill, the Queen of Earlysville. Erin King, the Queen of Scottsville. Judah Wickower, our Jack of all trades. Can the local mom and pop make it any more on the UVA corner? I'm going to rattle off some recent closings. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners, help me with this. Let's think of the businesses that have closed on the UVA corner over the last handful of years. You be sounding board if you could, please, sir, Judah, on this. The College Inn closed on the UVA corner.
They lasted a long time, though.
Still closed.
I know, but
the fact that they lasted a long time and still closed shows that institutional businesses can still close and may not survive this really high rent district.
I don't know enough about why they closed, though. Was that because...
I know quite a bit about why they closed. I know about quite a bit. We'll get to that. Let's rattle off the list first. Michael's Bistro closed on the UVA corner. The Juice Laundry closes Friday. Little John's, another institution, closed on the UVA corner. St. Martin's, although that was a while ago, closed on the UVA corner. Cadova, closed on the UVA corner. Cadova.
That wasn't local, though.
That wasn't local. All right, I'll take Cadova out. That's a good call. I'll put Cadova in another category. Thanks for keeping me on my toes there. That's a good call. Who are we missing, guys? Viewers and listeners. Closed on the UVA corner. Who are we missing? I asked the question because I think the district, the UVA corner district, is becoming so obscenely expensive in overhead that the local mom and pop is having tremendous difficulty withstanding the rent overhead. And I would hate to see this. I went to UVA. I've spent significant money on the corner and significant time on the corner, personally and with my family. My dad went to UVA. My brother went to UVA. I would love, I'm certainly not going to put any pressure on him, if our son went to UVA. That would be 4 Millers and 3 generations if he went. I would really be disenchanted if our son knew a UVA corner that was corporate Fortune 100 big brands. Chipotle's going to the corner, we know that. Starbucks is on the corner. Hell, Sheetz couldn't cut it on the UVA corner. I know they're not a local one, but Sheetz had a location there. The UVA corner...
I never saw it. Was it a gas station?
No gas station. Only to go.
That's odd.
It was only the Sheetz, as we know it, with the made-to-order sandwiches and the convenient store offerings. No gas. Whoever thought putting a Sheetz on the UVA corner was a good idea was a moron. I will cut to the chase. It was moronic. While Sheetz has very good food for gas station food, Sheetz as a standalone business based around selling just food is never going to win when compared to local options in this market. Sheetz will win as a spot when traveling down the interstate or I-81 or 95 and you see Sheetz on the exit sign and you're like, I can get gas, and a made-to-order sandwich. That's pretty darn good for gas station food.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Just standalone food, that's not going to win, and that's not going to earn my money. You feel the same way?
Yeah, nobody's going to say, hey, let's get the kids and go have a sit-down dinner at Sheetz.
Right. But you would say, let's go have a sit-down dinner at the Virginian.
Yeah.
Or at Boylan Heights, a milkshake at Boylan Heights. Right? So I asked this question, and I often talk about this. And Kevin Higgins, we'll get to your comments here, King of Greenwood, in a matter of moments. The UVA corner is owned, for the most part, by 4 people. 2 of them, Hunter Craig and Tip Top Terry. A third, an older lady who I've forgotten her name. But then the 4th we'll call kind of like a smattering of a handful of owners that will just lump in as a 4th. But when it's all said and done, 3 people, Hunter, Tip Top Terry, and this older lady own the majority of the corner. The rest is a sprinkling in of some property owners. When such a small group of people that you can count on one hand own one of the most important and recognizable and institutional shopping and dining districts in a small 10.2 square mile city. This small group of ownership is driving prices so high that the local mom and pop is having a hard time affording it. Competition creates accountability. Competition creates pricing opportunities, flexibility, and negotiation. When you have a depth or a robust amount of owners in an area, they will compete against each other to capture tenants by offering incentives or discounts. When you only have a couple of people, 3, that own one of the most important shopping and dining districts in a small city, 10.2 square miles, those 3 don't necessarily have the competition from fellow peers to offer incentives from a pricing standpoint, a build-out allowance, flexibility.
You mean they don't have to offer incentives because they're not fighting against each other?
Not fighting against each other. Exactly. They're not fighting against each other. Downtown Mall. Let's compare it to the Downtown Mall. The Downtown Mall has a lot of landlords and business owners down here. I'm speaking firsthand. Own a good chunk of a building on Market Street. through this ownership stake, have gotten to know the other owners downtown. Bill Nichman, who owns the Professional Center, and he developed the Holsinger building. The Professional Center is the center where is the building where the skateboard shop is on the downtown mall. What's that bank on the corner? It's United Bank, right? Where Bill's building is? I believe it's United.
Yeah, it could be.
There's a hair salon in there. There's the skateboard shop. There's the Thai restaurant right around the corner. And then there's 2 levels of offices above the retail on the first floor. We used to work there before coming to the Macklin building. I Love CVille was in the Professional Center. Bill Nichman's a landlord. Joe Geek's a landlord. Charlie Lewis, Ludwig Kutner, Alan Kajin, Wilson Ritchie, Joan Fenton, all landlords on the mall. Because and there's a lot more than that. And because you have a depth in ownership roster in downtown Charlottesville, you have competition. And you have landlords offering flexibility, willing to negotiate, having a rate and lease structure that is manageable, approachable, and attainable. That's why you see an eclectic collection of locally owned businesses in downtown Charlottesville and what is undoubtedly the heartbeat of the community. Let's compare and contrast it to another shopping center, shopping district. The most important shopping districts, shopping and dining districts in the city of Charlottesville. Let's rattle them off for the viewers and listeners, Judah. Barracks Road Shopping Center. We're talking city only. Barracks Road Shopping Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
I don't know which ones are in the city and which
The
ones are
UVA
county.
corner.
Yeah, UVA corner.
The downtown
Charlottesville
mall.
downtown mall. And
We'll call Preston Avenue. We'll call Midtown, West Main, between the corner and downtown. There's 5 right there. We'll call downtown Belmont a shopping corridor, shopping and dining corridor, downtown Belmont.
okay.
I'll call High Street a shopping and dining corridor. There's restaurants. Most of the shopping is service-oriented businesses and not actual retail shopping. I'll say High Street's one. I'll call Ix Park a shopping and dining corridor. Ix Park, there's a lot there. We'll include Cherry Avenue, shopping and dining corridor. There's some there.
Okay.
There's some there. I think those are your primary ones. What am I missing, folks? City of Charlottesville only, the shopping and dining districts in the city of Charlottesville. Barracks Road, UVA Corner, Downtown Mall, Preston Avenue, Midtown, between UVA Corner and the Downtown Mall, that's Midtown, Downtown Belmont, High Street, Ix Park, Cherry Avenue. What am I missing?
I'm going to take a look at a map.
5th Street Extended? 5th Street Extended, right? Wegmans, 5th Street, shops at 5th Street?
I'd say, yeah, 5th Street Shopping Center.
That's one.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say 5th Street Extended.
5th Street Shopping Center is there. So let's talk about this. Guess what? The highest rent district in the city of Charlottesville is Barracks Road. Why is Barracks Road, common sense, the highest rent district in the city of Charlottesville?
Because it's in the center?
It's got premium location, but it's controlled by one landlord, Federal Realty. So when a space becomes vacant in Barracks Road Shopping Center, Barracks Road has to rent that space in almost identical, comparable terms to the space that leased just down the shopping center. Because if it cuts a big deal for the open space,
Everybody else is going to either want a deal or say, screw you, we're leaving.
exactly, it's one landlord, publicly traded company. It's got to control rents to maximize profits for shareholders. So if space comes open, there's not flexibility with leasing. It's got to do well by its shareholders. And because it doesn't have competition from other landlords in the shopping center, it pretty much has all the leverage. It's the same concept with the UVA corner. 3 people own the majority of the corner. Because there's not a ton of competition there, the rents are not necessarily manageable and approachable for local mom and pops. Instead, they're getting really geared for big brands and corporations with burn rate. Now, when you take the UVA corner and Barracks Road off the list, you're left with the Downtown Mall, Preston Avenue, Midtown, Downtown Belmont, High Street, Hicks Park, Cherry, and Fifth Street Extended. It's no surprise that those locations, those corridors that I just rattled off, are the homes now to the local mom and pop. Each district is comprised of multiple landlords. Each district offers manageable and approachable leases. Instead of 5 and 10-year terms, you're seeing some 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-year leases. Instead of price per square foot that'll jaw drop, you're seeing price per square foot in year 1 that is like, wow, I can do that. And it'll gradually go up year after year, but it allows you to get the business clicking and humming in the first year so you can start earning some money. So in conclusion, I ask this. Is the UVA corner now becoming a corridor for big brands with burn rate, deep pockets, and nothing more? And Jason Howard is right. Fifth Street Station is just over the city line in Albemarle County. So technically we have to take that off the list for this discussion because it's just over the city line in Albemarle County. Good call, Jason Howard. I don't want our son, Carol Thorpe, Queen of Jack Jewett, welcome to the program. If our son chooses to go to school at UVA, and there's no pressure. Frankly, if our son said to us, I don't want to go to college, I'd be like, totally get it. I understand. Pursue your passion. Come work for the family business. We'll figure out your trade and whether or not college is the path for you. College model and $250,000 of debt upon graduation at open starting salaries that cannot service that debt is not sustainable. Mm-hmm. I don't want our son to go or know a UVA corner that is Starbucks, Sheetz, Chipotle, Qdoba.
Yeah.
I want our son to know a UVA corner that is St. Martin's and Orbit's and Little John's and Michael's Bistro and the White Spot.
Yeah.
Like, I love the White Spot. I love the Gus Burger. I get one 2 or 3 times a year for the taste, as much for the taste as the experience of having one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They've got some of the almost the best burgers in Charlottesville. And that Gus Burger is, whether or not you're hungover, it's still a great burger.
It's damn good. It's damn good. James Watson is the king of Orbit. He's watching this program. He makes a very good point. James Watson, this is an excellent point. I think UVA kids spread themselves all over Charlottesville much more so than they did in our day at UVA. Uber, scooters, and the fact that there's just simply more cool places to go to and check out around Charlottesville than there was 15 to 20 years ago makes the corner a difficult spot if they're not corporate. I do love all the classic places you mentioned, though. James Watson is 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to UVA 2000 to 2004, we stayed on the corner. We went to Rugby Road, or the Biltmore, or to Coops, or to Buddhist, or to Orbit, or to O'Neill's. I didn't really go to St. Martin's. I didn't go to the Virginian a lot. The Virginian is Charlottesville's oldest restaurant. 1923, the Virginian founded. The Virginian's about to be 100 years old next year. Annie McClure, who owns the Virginian, is going to have a huge party for a C-note birthday for the Virginian. The oldest restaurant in the city of Charlottesville is the Virginian. But Watson, king of Orbit's right. These things, and for those that are not watching the show, if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, I'm holding my iPhone in my hand. The iPhone, whichever UVA student has turned Charlottesville into, and Albemarle County, and Central Virginia, has turned Central Virginia into a playground for students. Before smartphones, the student at UVA didn't have the depth of knowledge or the resources at his or her fingertips to pursue other amenities, restaurants, bars, and shops in Central Virginia. All they had was what their eyeballs saw. Now the smartphone and social media allows students to say, hey, we could do a beer crawl from Champion to Three Notch to South Street and to Rockfish. And I can use an Uber or these scooters to get there. I can track how to get from each spot with Google Maps. It looks like by Google Maps we should start on a Champion and then go to Three Notch and then go to South Street and then go to Rockfish, which is on the mall, and then we can catch an Uber on 4th Street downtown and head back to grounds, and that'll take us about 3 hours. Why don't we, guys, instead of going to the Biltmore or Buddhist or Orbit, why don't we check out these 4 new breweries? They're just a few miles apart, and it's only going to cost us $7 an Uber to get there. Right? My wife and I, our son, we were having have you been to South Street recently, Judah?
No, I've been there in quite a while.
You should go. Wife and I went. Trey, we all went. We had wonton nachos. We had a couple of sandwiches.
Wanchos.
Wanchos, yeah. What are the, if you're watching, sweetheart, what's the name of that fried cheese appetizer we get? Can you text me that?
Is that the cheese curds?
Yeah, you've had them.
No, but I'm...
How'd you know that?
Because I've seen pictures of their fried cheese curds.
On I Love CVille Instagram. Follow I Love CVille on Instagram, everybody. The fried cheese curds, served with sriracha ranch. The fried cheese curds at South Street are one of my favorite appetizers in this area. You give me a fried cheese curds, and you give me a bar hopper IPA or 2, and I'm happy. So my sweetheart and I are sitting at South Street. We're watching, I think, the NBA playoffs. Oh, cheese curds. Thank you, sweetheart. She's watching. She's always watching me. She should. And we're sitting there watching like the NBA playoffs. MJ, the cheese curds. Good to see you today, MJ. And while we're watching the NBA playoffs in South Street, this is Saturday afternoon. No BS. probably 30 to 40 UVA students, barely 21, maybe rocking some fake IDs, who knows? I certainly had a fake ID, fake New Jersey ID. Come into South Street, 30 to 40. At the brewery, clearly locals. We all look and see 30 to 40 students come in at once. Initially, I was taken aback, but then I was pleased for the business, South Street, for getting the revenue. And then I realized yet again the influence and impact UVA has on this city. And then I realized yet again the impact and influence that smartphones have in this city on opening up the eyes of undergrads. There's like 20,000 of them, to other businesses outside of this UVA dining district we've called the Corner. That is a cohesive and well-communicated thesis or argument of why the UVA Corner has quickly evolved. And this has happened in the last 15 years. How this once incredibly popular dining and shopping district, home to locally owned mom and pop businesses for so long, now has become a bastion or a landscape for corporate big box brands with burn rate that can afford leases that are the second highest in the city, the highest Barracks Road, UVA Corner number 2. MJ Arquette loves the South Street cheese curds. They are ridiculous. Also, seriously, this is the second time I brought up fried cheese on this show this week. I may have a problem. You and me both, MJ. You give me fried cheese and some IPAs or some cider, and I'm like the Cheshire Cat with a sleeve of Ritz crackers and a Cheese Whiz canister. I would think the Cheshire Cat would like that. My brother-in-law Wes uses that line.
Interesting. Okay.
You don't think the Cheshire Cat would like a sleeve of Ritz crackers and a tin can of Cheese Whiz?
I have no idea. I think it might be a.
I think the Cheshire Cat would love that. What cat wouldn't love Ritz crackers and Cheese Whiz? It's Ritz crackers and Cheese Whiz.
Okay.
You don't like Cheese Whiz?
I think it's probably an acquired taste.
You don't like Cheese Whiz?
I can't remember the last time I tried Cheese Whiz. It's not something that I regularly pick up at the store.
We need to get Cheese Whiz in Judah's hands. You would eat the Cheese Whiz, would you not?
I'd try it.
Okay, well, you like Ritz crackers, right?
Yeah.
Of all the crackers, what's your favorite cracker?
My favorite cracker? I don't know. I really like saltines.
Saltines are your favorite cracker? You don't think they're
guess.
Dry? They make my mouth so dry, almost chalky-like the saltine.
I mean,
the buttery finish of the Ritz makes it much more approachable. The buttery finish.
I do enjoy the buttery finish, but I generally don't eat crackers like by themselves. So like saltines are great with some cheddar cheese. I like to crumble them up and put them in my
soup.
Oh yeah, put them in my my New England clam chowder.
Good afternoon, Lee Elberson, watching on LinkedIn. The buttery finish of the Ritz makes the Ritz my number one.
I love Ritz. I don't usually put different types of crackers on. It's like there are ones that I wouldn't want to eat, and there are ones that I would.
Jason Howard, you mentioned West Main Street. Do you have any information on why there isn't a new tenant in the Wild Wing spot? When I sold beer, that place was a high volume account. Plenty of parking nearby, walkable for some, lots of upside. Let's talk about that, Jason Howard. Jason Howard, I'm responding to your comment right now. I mentioned this live on air. Enter. Period. Send. So Wild Wing Cafe. Why do we think that there's no tenant in Wild Wing Cafe yet? I have some ideas. You have some ideas?
Uh,
Very straightforward one.
I think a lot of people are still recovering. I think it's probably got a high asking price.
Though, look at the restaurants that have survived the pandemic. Look at the ones that have survived the pandemic. What do they have in common?
You think there's something in common between all the ones that are still here?
I think there's some commonalities to the ones that have survived. Here are the ones that survived the pandemic and some of the commonalities they have. Commonality number one is they have a footprint that is small in size. Rent is associated with square feet. The largest restaurant in the city of Charlottesville, what is it? What is the largest restaurant in the city of Charlottesville by square feet? I don't have an exact answer, but I can roundabout eye test this answer.
Was it the Downtown Grill?
Downtown Grill was certainly in the top 5, maybe the top 10. And look what happened to the Downtown Grill. Wilson Ritchie bought it, and then immediately after buying it, he chopped it in half.
Yeah.
And he made one portion the Bebedero, a business he's an investor in, and then he rented the other half to Rockfish,
Yeah.
who makes damn good beer. And if you remember, during the pandemic, when Downtown Grill closed, I was the first to say on this talk show during the pandemic that the Downtown Grill was going to close because of the size of its restaurant and because steak doesn't travel too well, neither does seafood, in a to-go setting. No one wants to eat a $55 ribeye from a steakhouse
45 minutes after you drove it home.
that took 45 minutes from getting it off the grill to your plate at the house. Instead, what you're going to do, you're just going to buy the ribeye for $20
Grill it at home.
at Wegmans or Whole Foods and grill it at home. You're not going to get steak to go. I said it, it closed. I also said Downtown Grill was too big, was not going to survive the pandemic. Someone should chop it in half. That's exactly right. Wild Wing Cafe is freaking massive. And while we all realize that there's a recovery and a potential roaring 20s situation happening as everyone's getting out of the pandemic, guess what? The numbers would say otherwise. GDP in Q1 down 1.4%. Freaking China's considering locking, is basically lockdown.
They are locking down. They're
Yeah.
not considering anything.
They're locked down.
Yeah.
You got, which is going to impact supply chain issues.
Oh, it has been.
Yeah. You got Manhattan where COVID is starting to rear its ugly head again. So my point is, as this pandemic cloud resurfaces in the forecast, what restaurateur has the cojones, gumption, and courage to rent a square foot restaurant the size of Wow Wing? Paul MacArthur, King of Avon, watching the program. Talking square feet, Jerry and Judah. How does BJ's Brewery survive? That's a great question. BJ's Brewery survives because it has the burn rate of being a big...
You mean BJ's Brewhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
BJ's Brewhouse. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, they're not local, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
BJ's Brewhouse is able to afford that massive of a restaurant because
it's a corporation.
Because it's a corporate brand with big burn rate. With burn rate. A local one would not.
No.
BJ's is rarely full. That's why I've said on this program, I wish every business, Paul's right, King of Avon, MacArthur of Avenue, that place is always empty. He's right. It's always empty.
Yeah, BJ's never been, I've never been there when it was busy.
Right. Every time I've been there, it's been empty. And their beer is average. I'll just be very straightforward there. Every time that's why I've said on this program, Ralph Sampson's Tap House, I hope to God they do well. I thought their cheesesteak was damn good. They use Cheese Whiz on their cheesesteak for an authentic cheesesteak like you would see in the city of brotherly love. But the place is massive. And we've highlighted on the show that Ralph Sampson's Tap House is probably paying the most amount of rent per month of any restaurant in the city of Charlottesville. most rent of any restaurant in the city of Charlottesville is that one probably right there.
No doubt.
So you look at these vacancies, and Jason Howard, I love when you watch the program, JH, it's time you get a moniker. Jason Howard, where are you watching from? What area of this community are you watching from? Because you contribute to this program often, Jason Howard, and you need a moniker. You need a nickname. You need a handle. Where in Charlottesville you live? You watch so much, you need a handle, JH. Put it in the feed and I'll give you a handle here. If you're a restaurant owner and you're thinking Wild Wing Cafe, you're immediately going to be taken aback by how much that restaurant is per month. And the restaurant is going to have a high nut each month in rent because of its massive size.
Yeah.
He's off Rio Road. All right. Jason Howard's now the king of Rio.
Is there any way to split that building up into...
That's a good idea. I mean, Wild Wing Cafe may make a fantastic, but then you got to ask yourself if there's saturation point with this type of business. But Wild Wing Cafe would make a fantastic brewery where you could potentially brew the beer on site because it's got such large... I mean, look at what Three Notch is doing with its airplane hangar at Ix Park. Three Notch is running a restaurant. That's a revenue stream.
Yeah.
It's running a tap room, a bar, essentially. That's a revenue stream. It's got event space for events. And that sliding area, you know, when we've done some filming back there, they can, those, what are those doors called that slide? You know, the accordion doors?
Like barn doors, maybe?
Yeah. So that's a third revenue stream, that backdoor events area. It's the brewery hub of its other locations.
Plus, they've got some great deals that bring people in on a daily basis.
It's a brewery hub for its retail sales and grocery. Like Judah said, on Tuesdays, it's half-price cases. A Minuteman case for less than $20 on Tuesdays. So Three Notch is vertically integrated its model to accommodate this massive square feet of overhead. Wild Wing Cafe, if someone just went in there and said, I'm going to sell wings and beer, that's not diverse enough in revenue stream to survive or withstand that overhead.
Definitely not.
Good stuff from everybody today. Let's get to Kevin Higgins, King of Greenwood. He's got some comments. Jason Howard, I'm going to get to yours here. Paul McCarter, I'll get to yours. Scott Aaronworth and Carol Thorpe. We'll get to your comments in a matter of moments. I love when you guys interact with the program. I love learning from you guys. That's one of my favorite parts of the show is when you guys comment and offer perspective and I learn from you guys. So Kevin Higgins is the King of Greenwood. One of our most valued viewers and listeners is Kevin Higgins. King of Greenwood, football coach, father, all-around A-plus guy. This is what he says, and he's got a couple of comments here. First, he says, the owners of BJ's Brew House, their kid goes to UVA. That's why it opened here. Kevin Higgins said that. Kevin Higgins also says, if I was a terrorist being interrogated by the CIA and they offered me Cheese Whiz, I'd tell them the location of every single extremist I know.
Wow.
Carol Thorpe has this for Judah, and Kevin, we'll get back to your comment. I propose an on-air, Carol Thorpe is the queen of Jack Jewett. Carol, this made me laugh. I propose an on-air Cheese Whiz tasting for Judah with saltine crackers, and there will be the peace.
There will be the peace.
If I bring Cheese Whiz with saltine crackers and a sleeve of saltines and a sleeve of Ritz.
I think with Cheese Whiz, I'd rather have Ritz.
Cheese Whiz, you'd rather have Ritz?
Yeah, I think.
Because of the buttery finish.
Yeah, it just seems like a better fit.
The saltine, doesn't it leave your mouth so freaking chalky and dry?
But so does Ritz, if that's all I'm
Ritz's
eating.
Buttery finish combats the chalkiness of the saltine.
I don't get chalky. I mean, I get what you mean in the texture,
How many saltines?
but not in the flavor. And I feel like it's the same thing with Ritz. You get the same texture.
This is the challenge we should have. If you have 1 minute to eat as many crackers as possible, you could definitely eat way more Ritz crackers than saltines.
If you had what? 1 week?
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute to devour as many crackers as possible. You devour more Ritz than saltines.
I don't know why I would ever do something.
It's a talk show. It's a hypothetical.
I know, but
It's
you
a talk
get
show,
people
damn it.
doing crazy things to prove some weird point, and I'm just like, okay. Just seems odd to me.
The Ritz cracker would win. Jason Howard, I see what you mean about the King of Rio. Jason Howard, I see what you mean about small square footage and quick turnaround surviving. Ace Biscuit and Barbecue has a pretty small space, but its food is great and you can pick up lunch and be out the door in 10 minutes. Ace
Yeah.
Biscuit and Barbecue is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Kevin Higgins says this, King of Greenwood. What have we not figured out yet? This is about the economy. This country is in trouble.
Yep.
As far as Ukraine, Putin cut off gas to Poland and Bulgaria. He cut his own revenue to fund his war. That should scare the living hell out of everyone. He's not worried about his funding or his money. He's just worried about continuing this war. That should scare the hell out of everyone.
Yeah. Anyone that'll cut their nose off to spite their face.
Means they're a lunatic.
Yeah.
They're not stable.
Right.
And that's what he's doing.
How do you, like, in war, as in business and a lot of things, you've got to be able to assess the other side. And if you can't, then how do you react?
Right. Exactly. That scares the bejeebus out of me. I mean, and now there's content on the national media that if Russia turns off the gas for all of Europe, you're talking global crash.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about the U.S. releasing some of their gas reserves, but it's not sustainable. I mean, we've got like what? I think somewhere around 500 million barrels in reserves, but as a country we use like 20 million a day.
I mean, did we make our own bed by relying on a Russian dictator's most precious commodity?
I mean,
Took a crazy man.
we've also been relying on OPECs, and I don't know.
We took a crazy man and we gave him leverage. We took a warmongering dictator that's mentally unstable and we gave him leverage. And that
I
leverage
don't know
is
if we
gas.
gave it to him. He had leverage. It's one of those things that's always going to be necessary. And if Russia is, a major
You could
producer,
do more domestic
and
production. More domestic production.
I was just going to say, and if we're not producing our own, then we need to get it somewhere. And so I don't know.
More domestic production.
Well, yeah, you can keep saying more domestic production, but we've been down that road, and it's been, and our government has decided not to go that route. We don't need to get into the politics of it, but yeah,
Well, you
we
like
could.
to get into the politics of it.
No, not really. I mean, it's a pretty dark hole that we'd have to jump down to get into that conversation. But yeah, our country could be producing more oil through a lot of different means, and we're not. So we rely on the oil that other people are producing.
Why does a warmongering, unstable dictator have so much leverage
Because he's
over our country and so many other first world advanced countries?
Because he's smart, and he doesn't come across all that often as a warmongering, insane, dictator.
I mean, he maybe yes, maybe no yes, interfered with the Trump-Clinton election.
Yeah, but that's so
Maybe yes, maybe no yes. We'll just leave it at that.
I'm not trying to argue for or against.
Maybe
I'm just
yes, maybe
saying.
no yes.
I'm just saying that there's no real where's the proof of that?
Maybe
and
yes,
even
maybe no
and even if
yes.
it did happen, was it him that did it? Okay.
Maybe yes, maybe no yes, is leveraging gas as a war tactic. Maybe yes, maybe no yes.
No, I'm just
is
saying.
Invading other countries.
He's been invading but he doesn't like invade all of Eastern Europe. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yet.
That's why I'm saying he doesn't come across as completely insane. He's been running Russia. We may not like what he does or the way he does things, but he hasn't been going after Italy and France and Spain. He chooses his targets wisely. Is anybody rushing into the Ukraine to help Ukraine?
Well, you
No.
saw the news today, right? That President Biden is going to ask Congress for 30 plus billion with a B.
Okay.
30 plus billion with a B in Ukrainian aid.
Okay. That's
You
still
saw
not,
that, right?
That's still not going in to help Ukraine.
I mean, the
My
fear
point is that everybody is hands off. They're like, hey, we love.
33 billion, excuse me.
It doesn't matter.
Dude,
We've been sending them weapons as well. And money.
The obvious fear is if soldiers with American flags on their chest, if they go into Ukraine, soldiers with American flags on their chest, that a warmongering dictator will then shift his attention to Western world.
I know.
Us.
I'm not arguing that we should or that anyone else should. I'm just pointing out the fact that nobody has.
King of Avon, Paul McCarter, says Putin knows to avoid the NATO countries.
Yeah. Like I said, he's smart enough to choose his battles wisely. When he went into the Crimean Peninsula, I don't think anybody really went in to stop him there. He picks little places that he wants to grab, and nobody's going to go in. Like you said, nobody wants to see, uniforms with American flags on the arms and starting a much larger war with Russia. But at the same time, what are you going to do?
Putin is that kid on the playground. And that kid on the playground that just happened to be born bigger than everybody else. A little stockier than everybody else, a little thicker than everybody else, a little taller than everybody else. And that kid on the playground at recess or during the lunch, he doesn't choose, or she doesn't choose, to bully the group of popular kids or well-liked kids. That kid on the playground goes after the kid sitting by himself on the swing, or the kid sitting by himself on the seesaw, nobody else on the other side of the seesaw, so that kid's just sitting with his butt in the dirt. And that little bigger, that little taller, that little thicker kid goes over to the seesaw and starts slamming the seesaw, so the little kid whose butt is in the dirt, his rear end just keeps crashing and crashing and crashing into the mulch, into the dirt, into the mud, until he or she starts crying. The bully picking on the lone wolf. And the bully not picking on the group of popular kids. The worst kind of bully. I hated that stuff. I was the kid on the playground that went over to the kid that was on the seesaw and stood up for him, and then get on the other seesaw, and then the bully eventually left. My wife was too. Hate bullying. Let's get to a couple comments, and then we'll talk about Package Depot, and we'll talk Darden Towe. King of Orbit, James Watson, they're feeling this right now in Germany, unfortunately. King of Greenwood, Kevin Higgins, figure out how to trap squirrel and cook it. It's coming. We are living in a fantasy land right now. If our country was a household, we'd be evicted and homeless. Wait till Putin hits Visa and MasterCard with a cyber attack. Game, set, and match for the USA. No one has cash anymore. We'd be on our knees instantly. No one has cash anymore. It's so true.
I've got a little bit at home.
What, you got it on the mattress?
No, just like $7 or $8.
$7 or $8? I thought you were talking like stacks of
No,
tens of $1,000.
I said I have a little at home.
When someone says a little bit at home, the natural response is not $7 or $8. Do you keep it under the mattress, or do you keep it in a Ritz crackers box in the pantry?
Nah, nothing.
That's a saltine cracker box in the pantry?
Yeah, saltine cracker box. No, nothing that special. It's just hanging around.
Paul McCarthy, there's no way a defense of Putin. This is in no way a defense of Putin, but the USA is the biggest warmongering country out there. Won't touch that one. All right, a couple more items out of the notebook. I got bad news for you. Last night, the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors finished in a 3-3 tie when it came to turf fields and lights at Darden, Towe. Supervisors McKeel Diantha, Supervisors Galloway Ned, and Supervisor Price Donna, to their credit, were in favor of turf fields and lights at Darden Towe Park. The OG, do you know who the OG supervisor is?
I'm not sure.
Ann Malik.
Okay.
The OG, Ann Malik, was vehemently opposed to turf fields and lights at Darden Towe Park. In fact, during the meeting, she calculated, and this is from Neil Williamson, who live tweeted the meeting. President of Free Enterprise Forum, Neil Williamson, you provide a valuable resource to the community. We love you, King of Content, Neil Williamson. Supervisor Malik said this during the meeting. She calculated the weight of the plastic turf fields, and she's concerned with the disposal of the turf and the impact it has on the environment. She's concerned about the temperatures of turf fields. Supervisor Malik is concerned about the impact turf will have on the environment. Supervisor Jim Andrews, the newest one, is concerned about plastic fields, and he suggests doing 2, not 4. And Supervisor Lepisto Kirtley was in favor of grass with no lights. So here's what happened. Supervisor Price, Supervisor Galloway, and Supervisor McKeel said yes to 4 turf fields and lights. That's 3. Supervisor Malik and Supervisor Lepisto Kirtley did not want turf fields.
Yep. And the other wanted turf fields and no lights.
The swing vote was Jim Andrews, Samuel Miller District. And Jim Andrews, whether this is political strategy or trying to save face, who knows? He says, I'll vote for 2 turf and 2 grass, but I won't vote for 4 turf and lights. So he knew once Malik said no and Lepisto Kirtley said no, that's 2. And when 3, Galloway, Price, and McKeel said yes, Andrews realized immediately that he was the swing vote. So how does a swing vote save face with the soccer community in Central Virginia? They vote no in wishy-washy fashion. And how do you vote no in wishy-washy fashion? I don't support the 4 fields, turf, and lights, how it's presented today. But I do support 2. Let's make 2 turf and 2 grass. But because he wanted 2 of them to be grass, it didn't meet the proposal as it was presented last night. So that vote counts as a no.
Yeah.
And 3-3 in Albemarle County, a tie, unlike baseball where the tie goes to the runner. In the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors, the tie means no. And the soccer community in Central Virginia feels the ramifications. Darden Towe Park is the only public park in Albemarle County allocated to soccer playing activities organized. All the other ones are either through the soccer organization or through schools, the fields at schools. It's the only public park. You take a moment and you go to Darden Towe Park and you see the fields. They are in shambles. My kid practices there. These soccer fields are used so much by so many kids, parents as well, a lot of adult soccer there. They are used so much by so many people, the grass has worn away. It's basically a field of packed dirt. Other folks use it besides soccer, Paul, for sure. And Paul asked this question, does anyone use it besides soccer? He says, seems to me that's a gift to SACA, who is a huge enterprise. And he's right. SACA, the soccer organization of Charlottesville, Albemarle, is a massive organization. It's a massive organization. A lot of revenue there. But other organizations use it besides SACA. Hispanic League is there. Folks just come there and play randomly. Youth soccer's there. Jamie Turner, repping the Pat, mayor of Gordonsville, says my guy Judah with the big stacks at his house.
Yeah, $7 or $8.
Jamie Turner loves when you offer zingers. I enjoy when you offer zingers on the show as well.
I try.
You're very relaxed and natural today. Very relaxed and natural.
It's probably the cider.
Yeah. How much of that cider did you have from today, Manana? Call it 40% of a bottle over there?
No.
Come on. That was a massive pour. And you got a little topper offer as well.
Yeah, but it's just a glass.
I mean, it's a pretty... Okay, all right. It doesn't matter. As long as we get the work done, who cares? I'm bummed, dude. The turf fields and the lights ain't going to happen.
Yep, that's too bad.
It's going to be as is. The NIMBYism of public parks won.
Yeah.
Not in my backyard. The NIMBY mentality has now influenced public parks.
I mean, you say now, but I'm sure they've been doing it for a long time.
Oh, long time. Long time. And you know, not to point fingers here, but this is a fact. This is straight up fact. Of the supervisors on the board of supervisors, on the board, there is one that embodies the NIMBY mentality more than any other, and that's the OG.
Yeah.
And to her credit, she sticks by that NIMBY mentality, and she's ridden that NIMBY mentality to many terms of office in the Whitehall district. But that is the NIMBY mentality the OG has, and she's got it. Last item, two other items, quickly. The Rivanna River Festival is coming soon. I'm excited about this. It's this Sunday, the Rivanna River Festival. It started in 2019. It took a year off, 2 years off because of the pandemic. There's going to be a kayak and a canoe race that's 6 miles long. Starts at the Brook Hill River Park and ends at the Rivanna River Company. There's going to be food and family fun. This is what I would love to see from the Rivanna River Festival, and this is what I would love to see from the Rivanna River in totality. I would love to see a river district created. I would love to see a river district created with more robust walking trails. We know a bridge is coming. I would love to see a river district created with a restaurant or two that is focused on the river and its many, many users. I would love to see an area carved out for live music. I would love to see an area carved out potentially for food trucks. I think from an economic stimulus and incremental revenue standpoint, Albemarle and Charlottesville are missing out on attracting and monetizing the Rivanna River. It's a massive freaking river. Let's monetize and drive the Rivanna River and create the Rivanna River and develop the Rivanna River into even more of an attraction and watch as the tax revenue flows. And the last topic I want to highlight today before we get to your comments and put the comments in here. A lot of folks want to see you. What's up, Kevin Yancey, King of Waynesboro, afternoon. A lot of folks want to see you eat a sleeve of Ritz crackers and Cheese Whiz on the program.
A
Grayson's
whole
watching
sleeve?
the program. Grayson's watching the program, and he says, I will watch from start to finish if Judah eats a sleeve of Ritz crackers with Cheese Whiz on this show.
Do they all have to have Cheese Whiz? I mean,
Why
can
do
I
you
have
hate
something?
the Cheese Whiz?
It's processed, like, I think it says on the container, processed cheese food, because it's
Yeah.
not actually cheese.
It's good. That's what they put on their steak and cheese in Philadelphia.
That's why I've never gone to Philadelphia to get a Philly steak and cheese.
Ralph Sampson's uses the Cheese Whiz on the steak and cheese.
I won't be getting their steak and cheese.
You would like it. You always give things a chance. I've known you. We've worked together for 10 years.
I've tried Cheese
50 hours
Whiz.
a
It's
week
just
for 10
been
years.
like
You always give things a
20 or
chance.
30 or 40 years.
Kevin Yancey's right. Woolen Mills is going to have the bridge with the Rivanna River. Kevin Yancey, you're a very knowledgeable viewer and listener. I'm going to get a sleeve of Ritz crackers and 2 canisters of Cheese Whiz for us to eat on this talk show.
Okay, that's fine with me. I never said I hated it.
Oh, no, I never said, I know you did, and I know you would. We got to figure out what our beverage of choice would be. Would it be eggnog?
Eggnog
I
with...
love eggnog. I would bathe in eggnog if I could.
Alrighty then. That's not good to know, but
A carton of eggnog for each of us.
No.
A sleeve of Ritz
No,
crackers
that's
and some
like...
Cheese Whiz.
How did any of those go together?
They're delicious. That's how they go together. They're delicious. They're delectable.
Oh man, let's see. What would I have? I'd have. I'd probably want a beer with something like that.
I mean, I would
It's
never say no
that's
to
like
beer.
it's like a bar snack food.
Can we talk about Package Depot?
If you want to.
Please put it on screen. Can you? ilovecville.com/for sale. ilovecville.com/for sale. We're archiving a number of businesses that are currently listed for sale in the Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia markets.
Let's see.
One of the things I've started to enjoy doing in 2022 is getting in the business brokerage space. I enjoy working alongside entrepreneurs, and one of the services we've been providing this year is helping entrepreneurs exit their businesses. For 15 years, VMV Brands has been an advertising agency that's helped entrepreneurs and businesses start, launch, and grow market share. We do that by raising brand awareness. Enhanced brand awareness means more customers, and more customers means incremental revenue. It's a very straightforward equation. When you can strategically enhance brand awareness through social media, photography, videography, copywriting, search engine optimization, digital infrastructures, mobile infrastructures, desktop infrastructures, you name it. You raise brand awareness, more customers will come. More customers come, more revenue comes to the business. But one of the vacancies with the agency, with the firm, was helping businesses exit or sell or reap the fruits of their hard work. And we're doing that now in 2022, and it's proven to be successful so far. One of the clients and listings we have is Package Depot. This is in the Ivy Square Shopping Center. Guys, this is a dynamite opportunity. You have any collateral you can put on screen over there?
The image is on screen.
Oh, it's on screen. Look at you. You're a ninja over there. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. ilovecville.com/for sale. ilovecville.com/for sale. The asking price is $65K, right? $65,000 asking price. This business is legitimately the packaging option, UPS store, FedEx packaging option for the Tony wealthy part of Charlottesville and Albemarle, Ivy Road. You could easily add a notary, some copy printing services, some fax services, and some additional add-on services that don't already exist with Package Depot. At a $65,000 price point, It's a price point that's manageable, and it could be either for an owner-operator or for an owner that then puts a team member in the store to run, and then the owner manages the business off-site from afar. The owner can do all the work and make the money as an owner-operator, or hire a team member, train them, it's not difficult or complicated, put them in the business, and then manage them from afar and take an owner's paycheck without working in the business. It's got obvious potential. It's got positive financials. And adding these additional services like a notary, like copy printer service, like potentially some fax service, some office supplies, it's just gravy revenue on top of it. That space or category of business is not near that Ivy corridor. It's legit. It's legit. Kevin says, Jen MacArthur has a good family recipe for eggnog. I would love that family recipe for eggnog, Paul MacArthur. Is it booze or no booze? Paul MacArthur. Kevin talks about UVA buying the Foods of All Nations Shopping Center, Ivy Square Shopping Center. Kev, they're not going to change that shopping center anytime soon. In fact, some of these leases are being renewed now for extended periods of time. So that concern of UVA buying it is not a near-term concern. And it's the type of business, should you need, it can be relocated. Paul says booze, lots of booze. Yeah, they're renewing leases now, Kev Yancey. So I'm not that concerned about that, about UVA's purchase of that shopping center. Anywho, I just want to highlight that opportunity. It's a great opportunity for someone who wants to get in business for themselves. DM me for information. Any social media platform, reach out to me. I can get you that info. I think it's fantastic. Jude, I think you were on point today.
Thank you.
I might have to get you some more cider. Castle Hill cider is damn good.
No doubt.
Anything else you want to close with or add before we close?
No.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good job there. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, that's the Thursday edition for the show. For my talkative friend, Judah Wickower, I'm your host, Jerry Miller. And this is the I Love CVille Show today, presented by Castle Hill Cider and their 231 Festival, which is Sunday, May 15th at Castle Hill Cider. Get a flavor and a taste of the 231, Route 231 at Castle Hill on Sunday, May 15th for a festival of fantastic proportions. Judah, let all the viewers and listeners know how they can win free Greenberries coffee for a year. Enter.greenberries.com. Look at the screen. Is it up there? Enter.greenberries.com for free coffee for a year. Enter.greenberries.com. It's on screen, the URL. And Skooma Boutique Dispensary, the best dispensary in Charlottesville, is Skooma Boutique Dispensary, a dispensary that now has 2 locations, the downtown mall and the UVA corner. For Judah, I'm Jerry. We will see you tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. with Lloyd Snook, the mayor of Charlottesville, and Juan Diego Wade, the vice mayor of Charlottesville. 10:15 a.m. tomorrow. Put it on your calendar and watch the show. The 2 most influential political figures in the city of Charlottesville sitting next to us tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. Watch it. Ask questions. Take care.